A second plane of Grand Princess cruise ship evacuees arrived in San Antonio this morning.
51 Texans were on board the plane and will now be held under quarantine for 14 days at Lackland Air Force Base. The new evacuees bring the total of Texans under quarantine at the base to 75. Yesterday, Mayor Ron Nirenberg announced any evacuees at the base who are not from Texas will be moved closer to their respective homes to serve out the remainder of their quarantine.
There are now more than 1,300 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in 43 states. The virus is responsible for 40 deaths. Washington state is hardest hit with more than 366 confirmed cases and 29 deaths. A senior Trump administration official told CBS News the president is considering a national emergency declaration for the coronavirus pandemic.
In Texas, there are now 34 confirmed cases of coronavirus. 11 of those cases are among evacuees who were previously under quarantine at Lackland Air Force Base. The 23 other cases were confirmed in the general community. And now you're seeing a breakdown of those cases on your screen. Harris County and Fort Bend County have the highest number of cases.